Guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Dairoku. And are we in chapter 6 or 7? I can't remember. Okay, so, but like, was it the last part? Look, it's been a few days, because like I don't play over weekends, and then there was like a day where I didn't play this even before that, so it's been like 3 or 4 days since I played. I don't know what's happening. But I know in either the last part or the part before that, I was like, I don't know what we're going to do after this. But like, I realized afterward, when I went down and I looked at my book, this part and the next one and the part after that, if we get like 3 more parts, including this one, we're into July! Awesome! So, you know, that's good. So we might have a little bit of a buffer, and it might be good to put... Which one's coming out at the end of this month? Well, now is out probably now by the time you see this. Which one is it? Is it Beardoshana? Is that the one that's coming out at the end of... Oh, I can't even fucking remember. Yes, Pio Fiore is not coming out till September. Those are the only 2 we know right now. Yeah, okay. Perfect timing.
Everything is coming up perfectly, Spacey. I love it.
It's great. It's great. Yeah. This is what I need. I need to be like, we're about to wrap up a game, and then a game comes out, and then a couple weeks later, I can start a play. Yes! Not like, I have 6 games, and we don't have enough time to play them. I mean, although that's a problem I don't mind having. I do have a ton of games in my backlog. You know what I mean? But it's one of those, like, we started this game, and now they're, like... No offense to my games on Steam, but, like, we got a lot of, like... top-tier games coming out. Those gotta be first, sorry. Although there is a ton in Steam I do want to play, so... Maybe if we finish Variable Barricade before September. Still on the common route, that's not gonna happen. August. No, that's like 3... We're not gonna get through the whole game in 3 months, are we? I don't know. Anyway, so... You know, I don't know. And then that's basically... Oh my god. We're gonna finish this and Variable Barricade. We'll be starting Beardoshana... probably in like July, and then like September will be Pio Fiore 1926, and then that's the year. Oh my god, what happened? What happened to 2022? Okay, I don't know. I'm just gonna have a little blue screen moment here, which my iPod also had the other night. I turned it on and I was like, why does it say 6:30? It's like 9:30. And I clicked the calendar thing and I was like, why does it say 2017? But then, here's the best part. That's not even where the calendar was. I clicked today and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what. For some reason, it must have scrolled back to 2017. Weird, I clicked today. It went to 1970. So apparently, my iPod. Okay, by the way, I didn't exist in 1970. My iPod certainly did not exist in 1970. But it thinks it's 1970! I don't have the heart to tell it. I'm just gonna let it... It's okay. It's okay, little iPod. You have been going strong for a long fucking period of time. You are a marvel of technology. Not an Apple whore by any stretch of imagination. But my little iPod, you, my little touchy iPod, have been going strong since touchy iPods were invented. Whatever year that was. I can't remember. It's been so long. Anyway. But it thinks it's 1970. I wish, in a way, because I spent $70 on gas today. And that's not even filling up my tank. It would have cost like $100 to fill up my tank. It's almost $5 a gallon, and I want to throw a grandma root. And this is how you know you're fucking old. Okay, because I'm sure
all you children heard your parents. Back in my day, gas was X amount of dollars,
right? Hell, people in their 20s are like, back when like 5 years ago, gas was like half the price. Yeah, okay. I mean, valid. Okay.
2 years ago, gas was cheap. 6 months ago, gas was cheap.
Anyway. But I really want to be like those old people. Like, that's how you know you're fucking old. When you're like,
back in my day, we used to drive around on $2. It would fill up half your tank, and you'd drive around and have a merry old time.
You can't even get a half a gallon of gas today with $2. That's so sad. I mean, there was a point like a year ago where you were like, you can't even get a full tank for a full gallon. That's the word I was looking for $2. But now you can't even get half. That's, wow. That's sad. That's sad. But seriously, I remember my, going to the gas station with my friend, oh, we only have $2, putting $2 in her tank. And that would just take us driving around all weekend. You know, because gas was 97 cents. And then my mom's like, how about when I was young and it was 19 cents? I'm like, let's go back there. I'm like, you know what? I'm so over this shit that I'd be happy if it just dropped by 19 cents. That's anything. And apparently in California, it's $10 a get. That is absolute motherfucking bullshit. Stop it. There is no excuse. No excuse for this bullshit. I can't afford to go to work. I need a job to pay my bills, but I can't pay my bills because I don't make enough at my job in order to afford the gas to get to work to be able to make money to pay my bills. My cost of living, okay, my raise for the year, monthly, did not even cover a tank of gas. Excuse me. Hi, hello. I want to complain to the management about life. Who is the manager of life? I want to complain. I am going to pull a Karen move. I want to talk to the manager. All right? Who the fuck decided that my cost of living increase for an entire year isn't even going to... First of all, when you break that down monthly, it does not cost the cost of living increase. It never has really covered the cost. It's great. There was a point where my rent was only going up $50 a month. Sweet, but I only made $20 more a month, so awesome. Now my rent has gone up $300. Oh, okay. Now, granted, I moved to a bigger place, a townhouse versus an apartment, but my apartment was still almost as expensive. Almost as expensive. So, a little 1,200 square foot apartment was almost as expensive as a 2,000 square foot fucking townhouse. Okay, I mean, if I'm gonna be paying $1,700, I'm just gonna be I'm gonna pay $2,000 and get something that's bigger, and the garage is attached, and I don't have mice. You know, so, okay, I get that. But my rent in my apartment was still going up $150 to $200, and my raise at work wasn't even going to cover that. It doesn't cover $70 for gas. I just blew through all the money I got in a raise. Once. I can't afford to drive to work, so if we could just not have to go into the building, that'd be great. Just saying. Oh, good lord. Anyway, so that's my stress for the day. 20 minutes later, well, let's get back into playing this game, and I'm trying to stretch it out. You know what I mean? So we got 4 or 5 parts left. Woo! Then it gives me a little bit of a buffer to be able to get a couple parts recorded and not be we're 2 days ahead. I like being a couple weeks ahead. So I'm just saying. Anyway, wherever the hell we were in this, I'm so old I can't remember. It's 1970, and gas is almost $5 a gallon. I don't know what's happening anymore. The world is weird. I started my usual route as we left Azuchi Castle, away from the site of the accident. So many people probably skipped through and are I'm just gonna go until she frickin' skips, because fuck this bullshit. Well, you know what? Every line, I'm gonna tell you the exact same story again, so you're forced to listen. I'm kidding. We were patrolling for a while, but then Coco started playing with some of the kids. They kept talking about going to Kikutsune, so we sent them there and went on our way. Oh, right, we were going with okay. Somebody has to patrol with us, and right, okay. And there was an accident. I'm using air quotes. And they were like, you shouldn't go. It's probably a trap. It's so rare for me to patrol areas outside of our sector. And this is quite nice. I will apologize for the voices in this part because I shrieked the entire drive home after I got gas. Literally loudly. Not like that, but literally as screaming. Woo! And then I just paid $70 for gas. So it didn't take that long from where I got gas to when I got home, but I shrieked the entire drive because what the actual fuck. So now my voice is a little fucked up, so there you go. I was having fun with them. Nothing suspicious to report either. It was easy. It's not very day. It's not very day I get a curse cast on me. Very day. Okay. All right, Tim. It's not every day I get a curse cast on me. The anxiety continues to linger. I hope it's not every day you get a curse cast on you, though. I mean, that just sounds like a pain in the ass. That sounds like my life lately, thank you. Every day there's a curse. I have ants. I paid $70 in gas. Apparently it's 1970 now. That's not a curse. That's kind of funny, but I do have sugar ants. Like, what the fuck? I have sugar ants and I can't afford to drive to work. I know other people have, like, bigger problems, but, like, listen. I got enough stress in my life that little things like this just make you like, I don't want to do it anymore. I tried my best to ignore the bad thoughts, so I just focused on chatting with Shiratsky. We went to visit Tamamo and Kinka. I mean, Spacey in the game has way bigger problems. She got cursed, but, you know. She didn't have to buy gas, though. I'm just saying. Kinka came running as soon as she saw me. Oh, her voice is gonna hurt me.
Spacey, how are you doing? Spacey, you have dirt under your eyes.
Wasn't as bad. Pardon. I look that. Yeah. I really don't want to worry. I really wanted something to them to reassure them, but
we're best friends. You can't lie to me. Why don't we go back to my favorites?
This was overwhelming. I tried hard to keep the tears, but I started. My voice was shaking.
Take a break. I'll leave you to the Tamamo and the...
Speak. Don't let us go. Oh. Hanging out. Oh, so we're still in chapter 6. Okay. Under the Fujizakura. We got on the Oboroguruma and went over to Kinka's favorite place, the giant Fujizakura trees in Kikutsune. Is it okay we came all this way? I left Makatsui without even telling Yakumo. He had his hands full with the accident.
It's fine! Take a little nap and we'll head back to Makatsui, okay?
Alright. I looked up at the branches of the tree as we sat beneath it. It's weird when they cut up sentences. Anyway. The breeze was lovely, but I couldn't bring myself to nap. Okay. If you're not going to sleep, we can just chat like we always do.
That's good too! We can have a little bit of girl talk!
These two hadn't changed at all. It made me feel like everything that's been going on was all a weird dream. Why would they change? It's only been a couple days. And you're the one dealing with this bullshit, not them. But this is all real. I have the blood of the first Ayakashimori, and someone is after me. As this sat in my mind, I started worrying that I might be putting these two in danger just by being with them. These are two invaluable friends of mine, some of my first in Sakuratani. If I tell them what's happening, it might bring them trouble, but I can't hide it. I took a deep breath. I looked in their eyes and told them, hey you two, there's something you need to know.
What's up?
This might be a lot to just throw on you, but I can't hide it from you anymore. Oh, look at the little CG! It's so cute! I love our girlfriends! Oh, it's adorable! We have the bestest friends! Oh. And then I promptly yawn and ruin it. I just found out that I carry the blood of the originator of Sakuratani. Apparently, if I perform the ritual, I can maintain Sakuratani's balance. But someone wants me dead because of that.
Spacey! I had no idea you had such a secret!
I didn't want to expose you two to danger while hiding the truth about myself, so... I knew you were a part of the tributary bloodline before you did. See, that's what she was telling us. I mean, you knew. First of all, the second, there's a special, but they all died? Gosh darn. Okay, on my rounds, you're like, we're the special. Come on. We've known that since, like, maybe day 2 of the game. I don't know. Whenever we first got to Sakuratani and they mentioned it. We've known it since that point. But it was apparently obvious when Tamamo was like, you look like someone I used to know. And then she made some shit. And then you were like, oh, okay, let's not talk about it anymore. And then we just tossed that aside in Sammy's route. So, like, not a shock. A shock that she knew, because, like, they didn't bring that up at all until the end of Sammy's route, but anyway. What? Tamamo knew before I did? That's what she just said, right? I was speechless. I stared at Tamamo. Spacey, your scent is the same as the first. Maybe it's your aura. When I first met you, I realized you carried his blood. To the point that his presence lingered. Maybe this is why she smiled like crazy when I first met her. But Tamamo, why did you stay quiet when you heard we were looking for someone who carried his blood? She deepened her smile. Well, I had feelings for him. The first. The one who created Sakuratani. He always positioned himself as our equal. He was, of course, much stronger. Some were jealous, calling him a half Ayakashi. Half Ayakashi? Someone human, but with greater powers. He wasn't Ayakashi nor human, in that sense. Some Ayakashi despised him, calling him names like the human-shaped Ayakashi. Not a human or Ayakashi. He was neither. I can't imagine the loneliness. He was neither fully human or Ayakashi, and treated like something other. Despite hate from both sides, he kept loving everyone. When he ran out of places to go in the human world, he created a place for Ayakashi. He was just looking for a place to belong. And that's what Sakuratani was to him. Tamamo looked at me and smiled softly. So many Ayakashi can live a peaceful life, thanks to him. It also led to you being born, and us meeting and becoming so close, too. I love Sakuratani, and that's what he left for us. I don't want to lose it. Of course, I don't want Sakuratani to be something that takes away your happiness. Originator's blood or not, you are your own person, and no one can take that away. Don't let your lineage make you pick something you don't want. If you are what he left behind, Spacey, and that's what's causing you pain, I can relieve you of your role in the bloodline. Her words were wrapped in kindness, a light to keep away my worries. Like, you're gonna alleviate me by killing me? Yes, basically. I mean, but how? I can erase your memory as an Ayakashimori. The people here aren't cruel enough to force someone with amnesia to fulfill their deeds. But then, Sakuratani would... Oh my god, don't pick that. I wonder if that's the bad ending. Well, I wonder if there is a bad ending. Or if it's just different. Because honestly, this final chapter is titled Future, and then when we do the other save file, it's also titled Future, so it could be a different future, it could be the same. I don't know. And the lack of balance would affect the real world. The suppression would lift, and Ayakashi would be able to go to the real world to cause turmoil. What? And if you did that, all hell would break loose. Alright, sounds like a plan. Let's erase this memory. I mean, Tamamo. It's a nice thought, but Jesus. I started freaking out internally. Kinga grabbed my hand.
I'd be so sad if you forgot me, Spacey. I love both Sakuratani and Spacey, but if this will end your suffering, I can handle it. So, Spacey, don't feel like you have to fulfill your duties. I want you to only focus on your happiness.
Thank you. Thanks to both of you, I feel free to make my next choice. It's scary knowing that my life is in danger, but I don't want to run. And I don't want to be apart from you.
Spacey, if I were to be completely honest with you, I don't want you to go.
No need to rush this. It's not like Sakuratani is going to come crumbling down by tomorrow. It's the day after tomorrow. That's the theme. Right. It's the day before the day after tomorrow. We talked about nothing in particular for a while, then returned to Makatsui. Shiratsuki cares! Chapter 6. Still. Shiratsuki was having dango at the tea shop.
Oh, you're back! Did you like your girl talk together?
All three.
It's a little secret! That's secret. It's a secret. Oh, a secret, huh? All that matters is you rested. Akitsu, let's get back to our rounds.
And he actually called us Akitsu, and not Spacey. It's weird. Again, I feel like that's a spot where they forgot to, like, code to change it, but still. Okay, well, I'll see you two around. I left the girls to go back on patrol. I'm glad I was able to chat with them. Talking it out with them helped me see things a little better. They help make sense of it all. I've made up my mind. I'm going to keep being an Ayakashimori. As far as being a descendant of the originator, I'm going to have to talk to Sammy and the others about the amulet my grandmother had given me.
Spacey, why do you still have that long face? Hey, have you fallen in love with someone?
My brain stopped when I heard that question. Like when he's like, why do you have that long face? Are you in love? Someone's trying to kill me, Shiratsuki. What? What? What's gotten into him? I stopped in my tracks, and Shiratsuki peered into my eyes curiously. I love his little fucking face when he does this. Because his, like, eyes are, like, just a hair's breadth away from almost being a little crossed. So it gives him a little goofy expression, and then his little, like, freaking kitty mouth. The little, like, curvy little mouth. It's just fucking adorable. I don't know. I wouldn't call it love, but I've really come to respect Chief Tokiwa. Oh, what? Wait! Is this the Chief's route? I didn't know we were doing that. I'm okay with this. I'm gonna need a kissy, CG. I wouldn't call it love, but I respect the Chief. Where did that come from? I am okay. Yes. Let's go confess our undying love for the Chief. All hail the Chief! Shiratsuki smiled and in a moment transformed into the Chief. I am okay with this too. Listen, actually, you know, Shiratsuki, I kind of forgot about the transformation. Shiratsuki, you are best boyfriend. Because you can be the Chief, you can be Shiratsuki, you can be Akuro, you could be Safe, you could be everybody. Are you okay with this kind of role play, Shiratsuki? Because I'm just saying it would keep things spicy. So, like, this actually, you know, technically, okay, this is gonna be a hot take, okay? Shiratsuki's really all you need in the man harem. Because Shiratsuki is a fucking man harem. Oh my god, I got my man harem route! In the very first route we played in this game! That's it! We're done, bitches! I'm never gonna record another Otome game again! We got our man harem! We got Shiratsuki. I should have stopped playing then. We're done, that's it! I'm out! Forever! Please, that's not how it works. But like, but seriously, Shiratsuki is actually a man harem because he can transform into anybody. And like, okay, semantics, obviously, like, but it's not the same because he's not actually all your favorite characters that you want to drool over and you've collected in your man harem. Sure, but close enough. Okay. And since he can transform into anyone, you don't have to have the maintenance in this motherfucking man harem is so big, and we keep having to add wings, and like Jesus Christ, and people start fights, and all the like I don't know. Manage yourselves, okay? I'm just here for cuddle parties and fun, and then I leave. All right, you deal with your shit, but it's a lot, you know. I mean, you go and you're like, I know it's been a couple days since I've been here, and then like everybody's vying for your attention, and it's just a lot to handle, okay? And all you need is Shiratsuki. You're like, Shiratsuki, I'm gonna need you to transform into Kasuga. Different game, but if you know, you know. I'm gonna need you to just, yeah. Again? Yes! 99% of the time at this point, yes! Can you also do anime boy? Okay, perfect. Like, he can transform into anyone, and that's amazing. Oh my god! Shiratsuki is the perfect man, because he could literally be all of them! I don't know how to handle this information. Because, like, perfect man, because he's all of them. But also at the same time, you're like, but does that mean I have to, like, tell everybody they have to leave the man harem because Shiratsuki's the perfect man? Listen, Chief. I know you're here, but you need to leave because Sharatsky can pretend to be you. I mean, I don't think we could do that, but I'm just saying. For those of you out there who are like considering, should I build a man harem in my brain? And then like, who would I allow in? Do I have limits? And you haven't quite, already gotten like freaking like 37 feet deep and a bunch of fucking assholes up in here like me, okay? Right? But you're like debating, you haven't quite started, you haven't broken the foundation yet, you're not there, right? Sharatsky, I'm just saying. I implore you to just bring Sharatsky in. He can be anybody you want him to be. He'd probably willingly do it because, like, he's got all the time in the world and shit's probably a little boring for him now and again, so this is probably fun. And then you only have to maintain one dude who could be like anybody you want him to be. So that is my tip to you. You are welcome. It's going to get a little confusing in my actual fucking man harem that's filled with, I have lost count of how many wings we have, how big this fucking place is. Thank God Saint Germain's got a lot of money. Samey seems to have a lot of money. That's awesome because we're going to need it to build a wing for you guys here. We just need a portal to be able to go to Sakuratani and back. It's fine. I get it. But it's going to be weird because Shiratsky's going to be walking around posed as other people and I'm going to be like, wait, are you really Van Helsing or are you Shiratsky? And when he giggles at me, I know it's Shiratsky, but I'm just saying. All right, you know what? Maybe Sharatsky isn't the perfect single man harem because I feel like he'd break character a lot. His acting isn't great. All right. Okay, look. He's the poor man's man harem. If you can't afford to build a mental man harem, but you still want one, Sharatsky's your poor man's gold, okay? He is there for you. He could be anyone you want. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be a little janky, but it'll work. He's the low-res version. There you go. He looks like the chief, but then he's going to open his mouth and he's going to sound like Sharatsky and he's not going to be able to pull off the chief. But I feel like after a while, his acting will get better. So, it's fine. Anyway, have fun with that one. You're welcome. That's your decision to make. Poor man's man harem over here with Sharatsky or actually build a real one. It takes a lot of money. So I implore you to actually find some rich love interests to pull into your man harem to keep, to keep up with it. Because it's a lot. It's a lot! Anyway. I have 99 problems. And the man harem is about 98 of them. Anyway. Sharatsky smiled and in a moment transformed into the chief. Sharatsky reached out his hand and patted my head. Okay. I mean, that's not exactly what I want the chief to do to me, but I'll take it. I wonder if Jun Fukuyama actually voiced this line, or if they had Sharatsky's voice actor do it. I'm gonna read it like Sharatsky because we know it's Sharatsky, so.
There! No need to be afraid. You have me. You did fantastic out there.
Just because his acting isn't good, so I figured Sharatsky, you'd be like, Sharatsky, you don't even sound like him. Nice try.
So what do you think? Doesn't it feel nice to be complimented by someone you respect?
Sharatsky voice on Chief Tokiwa was pretty fun. I like it. I actually smiled at the image of Chief Tokiwa talking to me like that. The chief doesn't smile like that, and you sound like yourself, Sharatsky. Ha! Good job, me! Anyway, the chief is more... I was about to say peaceful, but I realized something. Something was off. I just remembered going into the chief's office and seeing those documents he had. You better not tell me the chief is shady. We've gotten this whole part. We've gotten this whole game. I had the same feeling then than I do now. Although, to be fair, it's a little iffy when it's a Jun Fukuyama character. Are you lovely and wholesome and wonderful, or are you a little shady? Because, sometimes you're you're a great character. There's still a little shade in there, and I'm not exactly sure, but but I love you anyway. Could just be me. Could be my bias. I'm, not kidding, but, sometimes I do feel like you're you might get a little chainsaw-y. Not stabby. He's gonna whip out that chainsaw. I see you, grow. The man that started all of this. Anyway. Well, my love for Jun Fukuyama started with Grow. Anyway, it was a report on me, right? But why? Oh no. The file that the chief had opened clearly said Spacey Akitsu. Oh no, you're not trying to tell me that the chief is trying to kill me. Okay, but that doesn't make any sense because, like, all of the little hexes he put around were shitty. Unless he knew, but he was like, I don't want to say anything, and someone else found out. I still think it's the dude in General Affairs. He doesn't have a sprite. But it kind of would make sense if it was the chief, just because, like, you trust him, and then you're like, everyone with the sprite has been kind of trustworthy. Sammy still has his eyes closed, so I'm kind of concerned about that. I'm still waiting for that inevitable shoe to fall. But, like, and Shu and Orochi were like, you know, a little bit not the best, but they were like, you were like, don't do it, and they were like, okay. So they weren't like really bad either. You know what I mean? They were just like, you're like, you're questionable, but like, you're fine. You know, they came around at the end. You know, they weren't really that shady. Their plot point was just a little like, little sus, but you know, fine. But like the chief, you can't, but you can't do that. You can't take like all the characters with sprites and be like, they're all kind of great in their own way. And sure, they've had moments where you're like, what are you up to? Ah, no, we're fine. And then turn it around. Like, you can't do that, game. That's not fair. That's not fair. We have created a rapport here. You can't take that away from me. Although it'd be kind of great because I can't wait to play this with the voice acting. And like Jun Fukuyama getting all sexy shady on me. So like at the same time, I'm kind of here for it too. I don't know. Anyway. He noticed my gaze and quickly flipped it over on his desk. How can I help you? Oh, come to think of it, do you need a permit for your event? Huh? Oh, gosh, don't tease me. You gave it to me already. I have it here with this other paperwork. I said it with as much levity as possible, then handed my document to the chief. He's hiding the file from me, right? Is it possible I did something wrong? The chief doesn't seem unusual at all. This worries me, though. It means he's completely playing it off right now. Tokitsugu trains you well. You're unfazed. I thought I was sly. How embarrassing. Let's keep it between us, okay? Sure thing. Again, sorry for the trouble. Unless she's saying it wasn't the chief. I gave him a big smile and went on my way. I feel like something was off today. Is this just in my head? I wonder if she's thinking that he wasn't him. I still think it's the guy in General Affairs. What would be the point of a random dude with no sprite glaring at us repeatedly? If I feel the same as I did then, the chief returns from his trip today. I should talk to him right away. I have to get Sammy to come with me. Yeah. So maybe the chief had documents, right? And knew, but then didn't they say somebody stole documents? So maybe the chief, somebody sent the documents to the chief, right? And then that guy, whatever his fucking name, I can't remember his name, stole them, and the chief never even saw them, and that wasn't him. He was just like, because obviously he can cast shit, right? Because he can cast hexes and stuff. And honestly, if the chief was the one trying to kill us, I feel like they're trying to make you think the chief is suspicious. But like, if he was the one trying to kill us, Sammy wouldn't have been like, yeah, this hex is kind of shitty. We would be like, this is master level work. You are lucky you're not oh, it was definitely the chief. Because the chief is powerful, right? So we wouldn't have a shoddy fucking hex out there. You know? He'd have done it right the first fucking time, is all I'm saying. Come on, game. If you want me to believe the chief is trying to kill me, I'd be dead. I'm just saying. It's like if Sammy wanted me dead, I'd be dead before I saw it coming. We wouldn't even have a game. I'd have been dead before the game started. So I think it's the other guy. I can't remember his name that keeps glaring at us. And then maybe he did some kind of a spell or something to look like the chief. A little glamour, whatever. Because it would look really suspicious if he was walking into the chief's office, but not if the chief was walking into his own office. You know what I'm saying? Ooh.
What's wrong, Spacey? And the chief is more... what?
Oh, sorry. I zoned out a little there. Shinotsky, thank you. I think you just gave me a clue about who the culprit is. I have to go to Nakakuni. See, and they want you to be like, oh my god, it's the chief. It's not the chief. It's okay. Look, I'd be really shocked if it was the chief because this, you know, they want to throw you a curveball that you're like, oh my god, it's the chief. And then you take a wild left turn. Well, I'm already here waiting at the door to this left turn. I saw what you were doing.
Wait, you can't just walk around on your own.
I'll use a teleportation circle. It'll be okay. It will not be okay.
Take me with you. I'll see you off.
I contacted Samey right away. I'm coming by myself to Nakakuni. I'm not bringing Shiratsky.
But wait!
And the chief's like, I don't remember seeing you. What documents? Superiors. Ooh. Sorry I've been away for so long. I heard you've been meaning to ask me something. What's on your mind?
Atsuya, did you know that Spacey was part of the tributary bloodline?
What?
If you already knew, why didn't you tell us before you went on your trip? She was attacked while you were gone. It was the second time that it happened. Luckily, there were no casualties, but the culprit's still at large. I really don't want to put her in more danger, so I was hoping you'd share any information about it. I just want her to feel safe out there.
Tokitsugu, calm down. I had no idea about the tributary bloodline. This is the first time hearing of it. Why did you think I did?
What? She told me about the documents you pulled about her.
What documents? I never looked up anything about her in regard to that. Told you! Look. They tried to create some doubt, and like for half a second you're like, oh, is the chief shady? I don't want the chief to be shady, but I kind of do. Because like, Jun Fukuyama's sus voice is sexy. Any voice he does is sexy, okay? I'm just saying. Like, I'm a whore for him, okay? We know this. This is not a shock. I've been saying this the whole game. But, like, you can't just try to be like, oh my god, I know who the culprit is! And then, like, skip up and be like, oh, wait, you're trying to say it's the chief. It's obviously not the fucking chief. I mean, come on. Come on! We've played enough of these games and read enough books and done enough TV and drama to know what's happening. You're trying to throw me a curveball. You think it's Tom, but it's really Susan! I'm just saying. You know, come on. Anyway.
When she met you to submit the paperwork for the event, she came back to the room because she needed to talk to you.
All I did was stamp the documents and headed straight to the real world right after. A lot of things happened and I came back the next day.
What? Oh, but hold on. Is this... Hey, Spacey, what's up? I got it. I'll meet you at the gate. Stay with Shiro until then, okay?
I think I'm understanding your train of thought, Tokitsugu.
Sharp as ever, Atsuya. So, could you get out the sixth staff list in the meantime and start going through names?
He's like, but she came back, and then they're like, they didn't even explain what happened, but they're both like, but she, oh, right, yeah. These two, possible suspect. Those two have the same fucking brain. You know how in games you're like, these characters share the same brain cell. Itsuya and Tokitsugu kind of share the same brain cell, but it is like a hugely powerful. It's not like, oh, you idiots, only one brain cell between you. It's like, you have such a massive fucking brain, it has to be split between two people, but you have like ESP or some shit. Because they just know, they're just so on the same fucking page. We might be in the same book, but they are like on the same fucking word. They're on the same letter on the same word, and we're like, I'm somewhere on the same page, but like, nowhere near as on page as you two. Samey met me at the gate, and Sharansky left us as we headed toward the chief's office. I told him what I thought, and the chief seemed to know about it already. The chief I'd seen looking at my file could have been a transformed Ayakashi. But Nakakuni's behind a barrier. Without Ayakashimori approval, Ayakashi can't get in here. You could get the permit at the gate, but you'd still need to be accompanied or summoned by an Ayakashimori to get in.
So, how could someone sneak past the gate? Come on, any guesses?
Samey, this is not the time for games! Tokitsugu. See, okay, now the chief and I are on the same page. Listen! My life is on the line, stop fucking around! The chief's like, for fucking real, dude. We can play a game. We can play Naked Twister later, okay? But, like, right now is not the time.
Oh, come on. I'm only playing around.
With my life on the line! I love you, but Jesus! Not the time. I do love him. The chief shook his head, but I stared him down until he shut up.
Okay, fine, I'll tell you. This wasn't an ordinary Ayakashi who transformed. What if it was someone's Shikigami? Atsuya, can you check which Ayakashimori have a Shikigami contract with a Kitsune or Tanuki?
Kitsune or Tanuki. I can't read that in his voice. I don't know. Chief Tokiwa started going through his PC and turned the screen to Sammy. There are quite a few with a Shikigami like that, Tokitsugu. Do you really want to go and speak to each and every one of them? I want to be like, is this guy's name on that list? And they're like, whatever his fucking name was, and they're like, actually, yes. Yeah, he's been glaring at me since I started, so right there. Sammy scanned the list a while, then smirked.
Nope, it's this one. Here's the culprit.
Yeah, Kosaka! Told you it was him. The second she was like, man, that guy's glaring at me, I'm like, oh, he gonna be bad. Who is it? Sammy was staring at the screen. He answered simply.
It's Kosaka from General Affairs.
I mean, Sammy, you should have asked me. I've known the whole time. Well, for a while anyway. I immediately thought of the first time I met Sammy and how that guy glared at me, right? Because they made a point to bring that up. So the second the common route stopped and you saw that, I'm like, well, there you go. He's our big bad. I mean, there's a part of me that thinks that should have been in all of the common routes. Like, oh, this guy's glaring at me. But then you'd be like, who's this Kosaka guy? I'm like, why is he glaring at us and why is he never brought up again? And then when you got to this route, if you were skipping through, you wouldn't have seen that and you would have been like, wait, what? And then they would have flashed back and you'd have been like, oh, that's in the common route. I don't remember that. So it's good they did it the way they did, but it makes it obvious. I'm sorry. He was staring me down hard then, but also the game isn't meant to be like, ooh, who done it? It's kind of obvious all the time. Simple, short game, so. I mean, still like 60 parts, so like, still a relatively long game for being kind of like a fluffier game, you know what I mean? It was at General Affairs. He had to take Sammy to the infirmary, and as they walked, I saw him glowering at me over Sammy's shoulder. He did it both times. At the time, I thought I just imagined it. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt that second time because he wasn't doing well. Wait. He had to take Sammy to the infirmary. No, Sammy took him to the infirmary. Yeah, because I was like, wait. I was thinking the first time, and I'm like, why was Sammy going to the infirmary? And then I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, it's the second time. We don't ever see each other, so I never imagined him to be a possible suspect because he's an Ayakashimori too. I wish I would have remembered him when we first thought it might be an Ayakashimori. Right? She's like, I don't remember that guy. We did. I never told any of this to Sammy, though. How did he figure out that he was the culprit? Because Sammy might be walking around with his eyes closed, but he still sees everything. Hey, why did you think this is our guy?
It's probably better if I explain it with him. Spacey, we're going to General Affairs. I'll make him tell us why he did this.
Okay, got it.
Atsuya, please let the ones we trust know that we confirmed the person's trying to destroy
That we confirmed the Oh my god. Wow. I cannot read with Sammy voice today.
Atsuya, please let the ones we trust know that we confirmed the person trying to destroy Sakuratani is an Ayakashimori. There you go. You're welcome.
Sure, but let's say Kosaka is the culprit. It's hard to believe he did all of this alone. We might have to start investigating who else has been acting suspiciously in the 6th. We should start with this room and you two. I love ya, but you're both a little sus. I don't think you're working with him, but you're definitely suspicious in other ways. Hopefully Kosaka doesn't get wind of this and alert any accomplices. I'm gonna report to some people upstairs and come right back. We nodded and all left the office. Sammy and I headed toward General Affairs. How do we know that this Itsuya is the right Itsuya? Chapter 7, to General Affairs! We're on the last chapter, bitches, so I hope this one doesn't go fast, because I was anticipating at least 2 more parts minimum, not including this one, so 2 after this. So we'll get through this. If we get our ending in the next part, that's okay, because then we'll do the other ending in the 3rd part, and then we'll see where we are, because, we got to play with a little bit of voice acting and stuff like that and play around, so. Alright, yeah, okay. Anyway. As soon as we arrived, we could see that everyone looked rather busy at their desks. When I found Kosaka, he seemed to be organizing some documents and was just busy doing work. I kind of feel like maybe the other save file is the same ending, just you see those other two choices that you didn't make. Something about him seemed darker than before. He didn't look like he was doing well either. All the power that it's taking is probably draining him. Hey, Sammy, good to see you. Huh, both of you look like you've seen a ghost. What's going on? Sammy raised his hand, stopping him from coming any closer. Oh, it's a guy, but whatever. And went for Kosaka. He put his hand on the desk and peered in. I need a sexy Sammy, like, peering angrily at me CG. Let's pretend we're Kosaka. Peer angrily at me. Anyway.
Kosaka? Why, you're trying to kill Spacey. You know I'm her boss, right? Have you had a problem with her? You now have one with me.
He's my boss and my secret lover. Sammy sounded the same, but his vibe just felt so different. It was almost scary, right? Which is why a CG of him peering at me kind of angrily would be hot. So if the game could give that to me, that'd be great.
The technique was performed by someone who doesn't have the chops either. If you keep trying to curse Spacey, you're gonna die too, pal.
I wasn't the one being interrogated, yet for some reason I was so nervous. What was Kosaka's voice? I don't remember. I don't remember what his voice was doing. What? You think I cursed her? The hell are you doing coming in here making accusations like this?
Did I give him an old man voice?
Wouldn't have an old man voice. When would it have even happened? I'm sure you have proof, right? Kosaka was unfazed and remained expressionless before Sammy. I mean, the ball's on this guy, because I'd be like, hey, I did it! Did you really? No, but Sammy scares me. Sammy doesn't open his eyes. He's scary, okay? Kosaka put his documents into a file and limped over to his shelf to put them in. He kept acting aloof, causing Sammy to relish in the moment even more.
Proof? Okay, sure. If you're not an Ayakashimori, you need approval to leave Nakakuni. You went with Tokataka to escort an Oni, right? There weren't any Ayakashimori around to do it, so you used Tokataka to pass into Sakuratani. That was probably when you planted the seal in the shrine, as well as in Kikutsune.
Kosaka chuckled, as if he was mocking Sammy. A cursed seal? In 2 locations? Sammy, how would I go from Kikutsune to Makatsui with an Oni escort in tow? He couldn't teleport without Tokataka knowing.
You didn't have to go. You tasked your errands to a Shikigami, since anyone from General Affairs is allowed to have one.
Oh, that's right. If the Shikigami remained hidden, it could definitely be done. Since Kosaka was a clerk at General Affairs, I assumed he wasn't a practitioner. You need a certain level of magic knowledge to join the Occult Bureau, and if you don't have enough, you can't get into the 6th. So even if your abilities aren't too versed, if you're in the Bureau, you're a practitioner, right? Which is why he has magical abilities.
The fire in Kikutsune happened after you escorted the Oni, but I know I can't claim anything without more solid proof. So here, a third point. A month ago, someone transformed into Chief Tokiwa in Nakakuni to check Spacey's file. Ayakashi who come in and out of there have to be put on record. There's no way around it. The only other way to do it would be through a Shikigami.
General Affairs manages Ayakashi entry and exit. Certainly he was aware of this.
Transformation's something Kitsune can do. Kosaka, your Shikigami's a Kitsune, right?
There are lots of stories of Kitsune transforming into humans, but I wonder if Shernotsuki would be offended hearing this.
Hey! How dare you! I've never transformed into anyone!
As he's standing there in the chief's body. And the chief's like, excuse me?
What? I'm just taking it out for a spin.
It was odd that Sammy continued talking like usual in a situation like this, because that makes Sammy scarier. He's not like, tell me the truth! He's like, I'm gonna fucking get it out of you. Okay, I see your point, but I'm offended you're accusing me as a suspect when other people's Shikigami are Kitsune too. Kosaka, unfazed, still refused to admit it. Sammy's proof was pretty circumstantial, but still didn't single him out specifically.
You have a point. Which is what brings me to my last point.
The air began to change with those words.
She saw a fake chief in the office that day, and of all the people with a Kitsune Shikigami, you're the only one with no alibi, and neither does your Shikigami. Is this enough proof for you? Before you say that you need physical evidence, I looked into the seal and who cursed it.
Sammy threw a report on Kosaka's desk without giving him a chance to say anything in return.
An unskilled practitioner can't perform a curse very well. It often bounces back to them.
Sammy's eyes are open! Shit's going down! It's so funny because when he's like whipping out his magic, his eyes are blue. And then normally when he's just like in normalcy, his eyes are gray. Sammy, do you have a little Ayakashi in you? Because like, there's something sus about your eyes. I mean, like, I'm not crazy. Every time I'm like, oh, his eyes are gray. I thought they were blue. Right, because when he was like in that one, they're blue and now they're gray. Like, when you're whipping out your magic, they're blue. Sammy, I know you're using magic right now.
I am not.
Your eyes are blue. Oh. Like, that's your tell.
Kinda like what's happening to you right now.
I mean, look, I know Sammy's kind of charming and adorable with his little eyes closed all the time, but like, this hits different. Could you imagine if this was Sammy the entire fucking game? I think I kind of like it better that he didn't open his eyes. You're like, just open your damn eyes. I need to see sprites with you with your eyes open and whatever. And like the CGs. But then when he's doing that fighting sprite that was in Akura's route and like this one before, like, whew, it's just so much more glorious. And then this, you're like, oh, Sammy's getting serious, man. He's about to throw down. Kosaka closed his eyes. At the time, I didn't know why he did that, but it became clear shortly after. Someone from General Affairs approached him. Hey, Kosaka, you have been looking pretty sick lately.
Kosaka, give it up. We know that you're the one who tried to hurt her. If we don't purify your body soon, you're gonna be the one in danger.
If a hex fails, it returns to the practitioner. It's why even the seasoned ones don't try them. Sammy said the consequences are too great. Hey, Kosaka, why would you do this? I thought you wanted to become an Ayakashimori. I remembered what he said back when I was helping General Affairs. I've been aspiring to be one for so long that I can't fathom it not happening. Kosaka, who had been silent this whole time, suddenly burst out in a bellowing voice. Come out! Kill Akitsu Spacey! It should be Spacey Akitsu, but like they oh, what? An Ayakashi with half a kitsune face appeared. I took a fighting stance, but Sammy raised his arm in front of me and shook his head. Sammy, are you gonna get the fight sprite? I need the fight sprite. Oh. When his Shikigami appeared, I quickly became aware of my lack of skill. Kosaka, you idiot! Don't make this any worse! Shut up! You think I'm just a stupid pencil pusher from General Affairs? You have no idea what I've gone through! Oh, okay, because that, like, right. We've all had struggles. I paid $70 for fucking gas. Doesn't give me the right to kill anybody. Should have thrown that out there. I was like, give me a break. How can you just say that, right? I hate them for not accepting me. I hate the Ayakashi. They laugh behind the backs of those who can't become Ayakashimori. This is where your Shikigami stabs you for saying you hate him. He sounded so self-righteous. It sounded like he knew absolutely nothing of what the Ayakashi cared about. It's not his fault. He can't go out there, but Ayakashi make their way to Nakakuni. He's probably never spoken to one before, but he has a Shikigami! I don't get that. He didn't know what they feel. He was just so desperate to be an Ayakashimori that it pushed him away from reality. The Ayakashi from Sakuratani are just like us. They cry, laugh, get mad, and enjoy life like us. We might be a little different on the outside, but we really are so similar. Some people are even born with tails, so technically not as far different. I hope Sakuratani disappears! An exclusive place like this should die! Why did they give this woman special treatment? Whoa, let's not get sexist. Kosaka's anger filled the air. He was having a childish temper tantrum, but there was something I couldn't let go. They? Who's he talking about? You show me right now! Show me how strong you are! I'm really not, though. Because I'm, like, new here. Kosaka's Shikigami smirked and lunged into its attack. Spacey, stand back. I prefer just having to babysit Ayakashi. Go! Kubira, one of the 12 heavenly generals, appeared and protected me from the attack. The documents went up in a flurry of wind. Oh, those poor general affairs people are like, oh, I just finished stacking those. Oh. They told me I could go home when I was done. It was going to be 30 minutes early, and now I got to stay 3 hours late. Sammy just summoned Kubira like it was nothing and started talking to the general affairs staff.
Hey, sorry for giving you more work to do. I'll wrap this up soon, so just give me a minute.
Not only did he call Kubira, but now Indara was also here protecting me. How many fucking Shikigami do you have? They're not even your Shikigami, you're just calling people. He's just like, I'm just summoning people left and right.
I'll try to protect you as best I can, but if it gets too dangerous, I might be safer outside. I'll leave the choice to you.
I can't believe it. He's able to do all of this while still making sure I'm okay. I need Sammy in the sexy fight pose. Damn you! Hey, unleash more power! And not just on Sammy, I need you to kill everyone here! The Shikigami didn't respond to Kosaka. Everyone else is like, man, I bought you a cupcake earlier! What the fuck? Dick? I knew you sucked. When I asked for a mock battle, I thought he was teasing me. But it's just because he had so much to give. That's proof of a powerful practitioner. Watching Sammy in a situation like this was honestly a perfect learning experience. What? Why isn't it doing anything? You're my Shikigami. Obey me. It's like, you called me stupid. The Shikigami continued ignoring Kosaka and Samy's side.
Did you forget you're in Nokakuni? Between the Daigyoku and the barrier, you can't actually kill anyone like that.
Kosaka grunted. I'll just have to kill her myself! And this is where you just, like, punch him in the face and he goes down because he's hexed, so, like, he's weak. Girl, we can fist fight him, it's fine. He glared at me with rage and I froze. This is where I want, she may not be good as a practitioner, he comes at her, I just wanted to punch him in the face. And Sammy's like, what the fuck? And you're like, yeah, well, I may not be great at magic, but, like, I can punch this motherfucker, he's half dead anyway. Kosaka, how can you keep saying this stuff? You've totally lost it! Damn it! The general affairs guy who had been watching started to stomp his way to Kosaka. Get, you idiot! Let go of me! I'll kill you too! Let me go! He was tackled to the ground. Sammy, I'll handle Kosaka. I might not have powers, but I can do this. Stop his Shikigami. That looks painful. Kosaka had his will to fight punched out of him. I could tell Sammy got a kick out of it. I would like to get a kick in on Kosaka, if possible.
General Affairs has my respect. I mean, you always have. If you guys didn't process the 6th paperwork, we'd be screwed. Kosaka, it was unfortunate. Aren't you friends with my little brother? He's gonna be sad when he hears about this.
Sammy handed Kosaka to the general affairs staff and performed a sealing spell on the Shikigami. Poor Shikigami. I mean, they did do bad things for him, but, like, you know. Kosaka's Shikigami didn't seem to care that his master was being detained.
Hey, is this Kitsune really your Shikigami? What kind of Shikigami ignores their master to play with other Shikigami?
Sammy continued casting the spell. A Shinsatsu fluttered about in response.
Kosaka, if your Shikigami undermines you, you can never become an Ayakashimori. This is honestly the end for you.
I mean, he was also planning to kill me, so that's definitely the end for him. I don't think it's the fact that his Shikigami doesn't obey him, like he tried to kill me. Well, but I mean, we might have been like, maybe Shikigami was gonna obey him, so like, were we gonna give him a pass? What the fuck? Sammy Shinsatsu wrapped around the leg to subdue Kosaka's Shikigami. Shinsatsu. It's hard.
Okay, this is it. Kosaka, you're gonna pay for this. I'm taking this to the higher-ups at once.
Kosaka's coworkers tied him up, to which he glared at Sammy. You think you might have won, but I'm not the only one disgruntled with Sakuratani. You still have enemies. Don't forget it. His threat sounded ominous. What else was he hiding?
You'll have to spit out what you know. I hope you like special interrogations. Okay, Spacey, we just have to wait for Itsuya.
Sammy's phone interrupted him and he answered the call on speaker.
Tadashi, perfect timing. We got the culprit who attacked Spacey. I need to debrief you, so get over here as soon as you can.
Tokitsugu, this is an emergency! The Gyyo came out of nowhere! They're attacking Makatsui! It's out of control! This is what Kosaka meant. It was Shu and Orochi. What? In this route, they're gonna be bastards? All right. Spacey should be on her rounds with Shiratsuki, so you really should meet up with her right away. I realized I'd forgotten to tell Yakumo where I was. He was so worried. Yakumo, I'm here. Sorry I didn't let you know. I came back to Nakakuni and I'm okay. Thanks for looking out for me. Spacey? I'm just relieved you're safe. Oh, and it's super crazy over here, but I was able to deal with that accident just fine. So this is what Kosaka was talking about. Seimi was muttering to himself, and I was still talking to Yakumo. Tadashi, stay calm and listen to me. I need you to get help from all the Shires. Okay, I was just with Hajun, and I should be able to get to him right away. I think the same thing's happening everywhere, and everyone's just trying to keep the Ayakashi calm. I thought the problem was only in Makatsui, but it seemed to be occurring everywhere. Okay, well, we're gonna head to Makatsui. You stay safe out there. Seriously, what are these serpents thinking? Seimi hung up and grunted out of frustration. What Kosaka just talked about is actually coming to fruition. It was difficult for me to say that I didn't somehow play a role in this. I mean, that's the thing. He would have manipulated them and been like, oh yeah, you want to be the all-powerful, and like, whatever. Not surprising. And they're like, no, he wants to destroy it, and you would die with it. And they were like, that sounds like a bad idea. Let's not do this anymore. You know what I mean? They've been manipulated, and he lied to them. Not surprising. I think we brought this up before. Like, thinking of Shu and Orochi. You know what I mean? Like, wait, if he got them on his side, but he would have had to lie to them because they want to take over Sakuratani. And he was like, yeah, well, if I get rid of her, and then you can take over, and then, And then he's like, ha ha ha, I'm just going to destroy everything. You know what I mean? He would have had to lie to them. They're not like, yeah, let's have the whole thing blow up. You're going to die too. You know what I mean? So, Seimi, let me come with you. It's better that you have as many Ayakashimori as possible out there. Plus, then it would be really boring if I were here and you were out there and this is the way the game ends, is me just twiddling my thumbs. So I need some action. My duty as an Ayakashimori compelled me to go with Seimi to Makatsui. Besides, it was best that I wasn't alone. I don't think I could stop you anyway. Okay, well, let's get this over with and figure who these other people after you are. Yeah, I'm sure that Kosaka is directly connected to this uproar. There's no way it wasn't timed. Kosaka was saying the truth. I thought the same thing. That means Shu or Orochi could be after you, but no proof yet. We'll just have to ask them ourselves. Okay. Perfect timing! We're gonna end it here. But Sakuratani in confusion. So, yeah, I mean, we'll probably get a lot of content, at least, I feel like, in the next part. Whether it ends, or we're just wrapping it up, because I feel like, yeah, we got our culprit, but now we gotta deal with this, and whether it's like, oh, we went there, and then we were like, shoo, that's naughty, and she was like, oh, okay, and then everything's fine, and it's 5 minutes, or whether it's, like, more than an hour, I don't know. So, who knows? But we're in Chapter 7, we're on our way to the end. We will definitely at least get 2 more parts out of this, because depending on, how the next part goes, we'll, but we'll have, you know what I mean, like, if we got our ending in the next part, then we still have the part after to do that other version of the ending, whether it's another bad ending. It still says the same chapter name, so I assume it's the same thing, just maybe those little scenes are different. But then that part, if that's like, oh, it's only 5 minutes, then we just poke around and see what else is in there, and then we do the little voice acting bits. Read their secret things, the secret files or whatever, which we have to read so we can unlock the final CGs, which are probably the thanks for playing CGs where everyone's together and we're like, that's so cute! Anyway. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.